And welcome to the Invention Licensing Show. I'm your host, David Fidoa, and I'm here to help you license your product. Today, we're going to talk about how not to fall off your climb to success. So to jump right into it, not to fall off your climb to success. This is not something people think about when they're starting their journey, right? They don't think about the fact that they could fall off. We're always projecting forward in our mind how the success is going to show up in our life. And when we do that, right? And the way that I look at it is a lot of times we use our mental theater, right? We project forward, all right, this is how it's going to go. And the way that I look at it is that, when I do it, right, you project this movie forward, you'll make your product, you'll start pitching to companies, and they'll be so excited, they'll call you and say, this is a great innovation, we'd love to license it, here's a contract. And when it doesn't happen like that, we get frustrated. We haven't set ourselves up to be able to move forward. And a lot of the ways that I look at this is like a meteorite. So in a meteorite, right, it's in idea form. When you're out in space, there's no friction. There's no gravity pushing it. It's just in your mind, right? And when you're playing it out in your mental theater, there's no impact of reality on your actual product because it's all playing in your mental theater. Nothing negative can happen. You can play through negative scenarios, but nothing can happen. And so when you're floating through space, there's no forces upon it. And that's where your idea is. But when you start bringing it into reality, it's like you're entering the atmosphere. When you enter the atmosphere, what happens when a meteor enters the atmosphere? Friction of the Earth's atmosphere puts pressure on it and it starts to burn, right? There's friction created. And that's what happens with our ideas when they become reality, is that when they play in our mental theater, there's no friction. When they start to come out in reality, there's this friction between the real world and our idea and the idea of how we think it should be. And so if we haven't set ourselves up so that the friction doesn't stop us, then we're gonna fail if we haven't played this through and we're not ready for it. And to climb on top of a meteorite analogy, I'm gonna go on top of a mountain climbing analogy. So the problem a lot of the times people have is if you were to climb a mountain and you were just to focus your eyes on the top or the destination, you would have a very difficult time finding your next handhold or your next foothold or your next step right in front of you. And so when your eyes are at the very top of the mountain, which most inventors, including myself when I began, was, right? I'm only successful if I license products and start producing royalties. I'm only successful if my products are on the shelf selling and making money. And so with all of these kind of like rules of success and where we want to go, we keep our eyes on the prize. That's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, I do think you need to focus on long-term goals, but if you don't focus on the here and now, where your hand goes today and where your foot goes tomorrow, then you're not gonna make the climb. And that's where a lot of people lose it, is they're projecting all these mental theaters out, how it's gonna play out. And if it doesn't go exactly that way, they don't know what to do or they don't know how to move forward. And the way that I overcome that is by looking at the here and now today. What can I do today to be successful? Where can I put my hand right now to move my product forward or to climb this mountain? And so that's my challenge to you, is as you're going through this process, look at today, focus on today and be in the moment of what can I do today? Yes, like deals will come if you do the steps daily. They will show up. And that's the way I started taking it. And that's when my deals started showing up. When I stopped looking at my end goal, when I stopped looking at the top of the mountain, I started focusing on today. It was interesting because I just started getting really good at where do I put my hand today? How can I take the next step today? And I got really good at daily activities. And I did that for like 2-3 months and deals started showing up. It's part of the process. If you do the things well, then the outcome shows up. If you're always outcome oriented, you don't look at your process of today to get there and you never end up getting there. And so that's what I want you to do in your journey, is focus on today, focus on the actions you can take now to move yourself forward, and deals will show up if you continually execute on a daily basis and not look at the top of the mountain. All right, I hope you loved that episode of License Your Invention with David Fidua. As you know, I'm your host, here to help you license your product. Do subscribe now or check out inventtribe.com for more information. The next video is super cool. I'm gonna break down the top 5 categories or top 5 industries I see the most licensing deals happening.